One of the first questions that will come to mind of a new real estate investor is whether or not to set up a legal entity. Is one required? How much does it cost? How hard is it to set one up? And this dilemma around corporate structures can make things really overwhelming, and it can also lead to you deciding not to even get started. This is something that stops many people from even beginning their real estate investing journey. So let me spare you the mental stress and tell you right off the bat that you do not need a legal entity to invest in real estate. So why do people talk so much about the need for legal entities, and why do many investors have them? We will cover those reasons and those benefits shortly. In upcoming videos, we will also cover each of the different types of legal entities and how each of them are set up and who each of them might be good for. But first, what is a legal entity? It's a corporate structure that separates money and property from the individual. When you own real estate through a corporate entity, the corporation is the actual owner of the property, and the company name is on the deed of the property, not your personal name. So what are the benefits that you get when you set up and use a legal entity to own real estate? One of the benefits is the legal protection you receive personally. Should someone sue you over one of your real estate investment properties, they would have to sue your corporation that owns the property instead of suing you personally. Now, I want to preface that I am not a legal attorney and I do not practice law, so please do not consider any of the videos on legal information to be legal advice. Please consult your own licensed legal attorney for accurate information regarding the city and state laws that you have to follow. With that being said, getting sued is something that shouldn't happen and likely won't happen if you operate your business the right way. But in the event that someone does sue you for whatever reason, then having a legal entity in place can protect you, because any damages awarded to the other party will get paid from the business income and the business assets, not from your personal assets like your house, your car, your boat, your second vacation home, etc., etc. They can only come after the money and assets of the corporation. If you own multiple rentals, some investors like to buy each property in a separate legal entity for increased protection so that one property lawsuit doesn't affect all the other properties that you own. In other words, you won't have to sell these other properties to come up with the money to pay the attorney and the lawsuit for the property that was affected. In addition to legal protection, investors also like to use a legal entity to purchase real estate investment property for the tax structure. Sometimes having a certain type of legal entity can save you money on taxes. Depending which type of legal entity you set up will dictate your entity's tax structure and how you're taxed by the government. So it's important to consult an accountant to determine which one might be the right choice for you. Now, an LLC, which is common for most investors to choose, really has no tax differences than not having a legal entity at all. So if you choose to buy real estate in your personal name or an LLC, there really is no tax advantage. Mainly the tax advantages come when setting up an S corporation, which is another legal entity structure we'll cover more in an upcoming video. Now I want to go back and stress it's important to find a highly skilled real estate accountant to have on your team, as they can save you thousands of dollars in taxes through their knowledge of accounting tax laws. So, which legal entity is best for most beginner investors? Most beginners and individual investors will start with an LLC, which stands for Limited Liability Company. For tax purposes, the LLC is known as a pass-through tax structure. All the net income from the business gets passed on to your personal tax return on a Schedule E tax form. This is a bonus document, or an addendum as they call it, that gets filled out and attached to your normal personal tax return forms. This business income is then taxed at the same tax rate as your other personal income, depending which tax bracket you fall within. One of the benefits of real estate investing is all the various tax deductions you can utilize to lower your taxable income. However, many of these tax breaks that real estate investing offers are the same whether or not you use a legal entity to own the property. When you own investment property in legal entities, these tax deductions, also known as business expenses, or write-offs as some call them, they get handled differently depending on your corporate structure. For example, a C corporation may choose to pay salaries to its members, and as a result, its net income is calculated differently than the LLC, which passes the net income down to the member's personal tax return. Certain legal entities have corporate tax they are charged, which creates extra tax as they get taxed twice, once at the corporate level and once at the personal level. Overall, to sum up this video, legal entities are not required to buy investment property. However, they have their pros and cons. The pros being legal protection and asset protection from lawsuits, bankruptcy filings, as well as the tax savings from various tax deductions and credits offered by the government to incentivize investment and job creation that results from real estate investment. The cons being the costs that it takes to set up and maintain the legal entity, as well as ongoing attorney fees, business reporting requirements, and filing fees that you have to file with the government each year. Another major con that stops most investors from using a legal entity in the early years is the problems that legal entities cause getting bank financing. So when you go to get a loan from the bank, a bank is going to make you personally guarantee the loan if your business is brand new. Once you've established several years of the business running successfully and you filed tax returns for the business, then the bank can start qualifying the business income as its own individual structure, and they don't look at your own personal tax returns anymore. So you no longer will have to guarantee the loans personally. You can start getting non-recourse loans, which is another video topic coming up shortly. So that is the other con, is that bank financing can be quite difficult when you first set up your legal entity until you establish experience and a couple years worth of tax filings. So overall, that is this video covering legal entities and how you do not need them to start investing in real estate, but they do provide you asset protection and legal protection, which is the main benefit of starting a legal entity so that you can make sure you protect yourself from any lawsuit.